Welcome back to Let's Talk Steelers from Cigars International, Bridgeville, Pennsylvania. Join us here November 22nd for our first anniversary party. It'll be great. This place will be filled with smoke and people being happy, listening to music, drinking beer, all the things I love. You'll be eating granola, walking through the woods probably. What you do on weekends, I have no idea.
Let's just get to the show. Come
on. If you watch the show, if you listen to our radio show on Fox Sports Radio Wheeling-Pittsburgh, a little bit. For your quarterback, you're too good looking. Somebody's going to pick on you. You know all the time, I love offensive line play. Mike, I talk about it all the time. I know it upsets you.
It doesn't upset me. I love offensive line. Trust me.
Because they kept you upright all these years.
Players on the team. Typically, they don't get the credit. That's the thing.
That's right.
O-line, they don't get the credit. They don't need the publicity. They go about their business nice and quietly. And they don't get the praise. And so, too many times, even helping coach and stuff, I'm like, hey, man, these guys need the credit. They're doing a phenomenal job. We don't give them enough praise because when they're doing their job, it's just quietly. You only really go after them when they're doing bad. You don't say, oh, they're great. No, you go after them when they're bad, but, that's the thing. I love the O-linemen. They're the most valuable position on the field.
There you go. How was your line when you played for the Lions?
Yeah, we're all right.
There you have that. All right, why am I talking about offensive line? Well, because I have great hope going into the Los Angeles, so hard to say that, Los Angeles Chargers game, because this offensive line for the Chargers is decimated. It is beat up. They paid the highest amount of money an offensive lineman's ever been played to, or Sean Slater, their left tackle, that blind side tackle, big, huge contract. He get out for the season, earlier in the season. They moved their number one draft choice from last year from right tackle to left tackle, Joe Alt. What happens to him, Mike? He has a high ankle sprain to start the season. He got another one last week, Mike. He's out for this season. They've played at least 7 to 8 different guys on this offensive line, and the guys that they do have starting, their right guard in particular, he grades out on the old Tankers book at about a D-. A D-.
The Tankers book trumps the PFF, right?
Yeah, every week too. And guess what? If you go to PFF, they say basically
the Tankers book.
They say basically the same thing. Guess who their right guard, who grades out in my book at about a D-. Guess who he's lining up across from next week? A guy named Cam Hayward, who had one of his best games of the year last week. In fact, that whole front came to life. It was like somebody threw a bunch of steaks into a lion's den last week, and they went absolutely crazy on their front seven. That offensive line for the Chargers is definitely their Achilles heel. Mike, I don't know how you get around that banged up of a line, that bad of a line, even when you have a great quarterback like Herbert.
Well, that's the thing. He's going to have to probably maybe have some QB design runs, get the extra hitter in the box. Maybe scramble a little bit, but for the most part, get the quick game, passing game going. Try to get the ball as quick as you can. Slow down the defensive line rush. Try to wear them down by getting the ball out quick so they don't. And then that way you can eventually take your shots. But, they've got a big, young tight end. They've got Keenan Allen. They've got Ladd McConkey. And, they've got some weapons. It's just, can they get enough protection to maybe find the one-on-one matchup? And I think Herbert, he's a phenomenal quarterback. He's going to be around this league for a long time. He's kind of like, to me, he is the top of the young guys. He's the modern-day Aaron Rodgers. And, he doesn't take off and run as much. He's been doing a little bit more this year. You talked
that O-line.
You saw Collinsworth talk about it a couple weeks ago when hey, you should take off and run. You're a little bit more productive, this and that. It's probably because of the O-line. He's usually looking to get down the field. But if you're dropping guys and he has to escape, he's going to have to take off and run. And then he's going to have to protect himself.
No doubt about it. And the question will be this. Will the Steelers defense that lost to the Kitty Cats in Cincinnati show up, or will that defense that proved itself capable last week show up again? Mike, I tend to think that at the professional level that now they've done it, now they've showed what they can do against the best offense in the league in the Colts. that they don't drop up at this point. Again, we talked about what was wrong with the Steelers defense a couple weeks ago. Was it scheme? Was it personnel? Well, after last week, you found out decidedly it was scheme, not personnel, even though Joey Porter is a C average corner who still needs to clutch on to people. They've simplified the scheme. It paid dividends last week. I think the Chargers are in real trouble offensively next week against this defense if it shows up again.
Again, you don't want to get greedy. You see the banged up O-line. You say, hey, let's get after him. Let's go.
I'm blitzing him like crazy.
I don't. Because if you're blitzing crazy, now all of a sudden you got to go man-to-man on the back end, and they've got that tight end. They've got Ladd McConkey. They've got Keenan Allen. And here's the thing. When you blitz, that ball has to come out a little quicker, and it can because you've got man-to-man. So you're going to put Porter in a bad spot.
Oh, don't do that.
If you're saying he's grabbing, you're going to put him in a bad spot. If
I'm
he's
not
gotta play
saying it. Everybody that watches the Steelers
But what I'm saying is if they kind of go back to, hey, let's play the zone, let's cover, and let's force them to run the ball, and let's let our D-line just go eat against this bad offensive line, then I think you get away with something.
I'm really looking forward to...
Just don't get greedy.
Don't get greedy and you get beat. I'm looking forward to Harmon to finally find his way into this defense. This rookie had high hopes on him, Steelers. They got him. They said, okay, kid, you're going to play on day one, and we need you to be the defensive lineman now that we think you'll be in 5 years from now. I think this is a chance for this young man to step up. It's time for Benton to go to the next level. So I'm predicting that the Steelers defense wins this game against the Chargers. I'm also looking for some changes in that offensive schematics. You seem to think they're in pretty good shape with the offense they're calling.
Well, again, you're looking at it where you're more upset with the yards. The rushing game is lacking a little. The passing game is a little better. But the points per game is there. And whether that be special teams is helping them out, getting good field position, whether the defense is getting them good field position. If you get good field position and you're, top half of the league in scoring, you're going to have a chance to win games.
You know what Danny Smith is getting for Christmas?
Some gum?
More bubble gum. All right, we'll see you next week. Let's talk Steelers. I'm Tank. He's Mike. Come to Cigars International in Bridgeville, Pennsylvania. We may or may not be here. Here, you wait here.